Hello everyone, I'm Dragons After Dark, and today we're taking a look at pet battle families, their racial abilities, and the various ways they interact. There are 10 families that battle pets can be part of: Humanoid, Dragonkin, Flying, Undead, Critter, Magic, Elemental, Beast, Aquatic, and Mechanical. Each one has a family they will take strong or weak damage from, deal strong or weak damage to, and a unique feature of their family. If you've ever wondered why all of a sudden a beast enemy is dealing extra damage or that critter pet wasn't stunned, you'll find out today. Humanoids are the family where you'll find pets that have an appearance or relative sentience level of a human and aren't undead or mechanical. This covers a lot of ground, and there are some pets here that play fast and loose with that definition, but chances are if it looks like you can be charged with kidnapping for adding it to your roster, it's a humanoid. The unique feature of humanoids is they'll recover 4% of their maximum health at the end of the round if they dealt damage. This is why when you use the Anubis Idol's deflection ability, it doesn't recover any health that round. You must attack and hit the enemy for the racial to activate. The percentage can be manipulated if you use something that increases your pet's maximum health, like Sunny Day, Ancient Blessing, Ancient Knowledge, Illuminate, Ray of Hope, and Perk Up. Using the Anubis Idol as an example again, its base health is 1725, which means it heals for 69 health. With Sunny Day up, the idol's maximum health is increased to about 2587, which means you'll now heal for 4% of that health and heal for 103 at the end of the round. Because it's a flat percentage of your pet's health, it won't be impacted by things like Moonlight, which buffs the amount of healing pets receive by 25%. Humanoids themselves will take strong damage from undead attacks, think in terms of zombie apocalypses, but take weak damage from critter attacks unless you're in a Monty Python movie. Now, this doesn't mean if you're facing an undead, your humanoid is going to be toast, because the undead pet might not have undead attacks. This is why it's important to pay attention to both the family you are fighting against and the families of their attacks. With this in mind, unless you're doing a family achievement for humanoids, you'll want to shelve this family if you're facing anything with undead attacks. As for humanoid attacks, because again you don't have to be a humanoid to have a humanoid family attack, they will do strong damage against Dragonkin pets like Ye Olde Knights versus Dragons, but do weak damage against beast pets because you should always feel bad for hitting doggos. Dragonkin is the family where you'll find pets who are dragons, descended from dragons, or have draconic features but aren't undead or mechanical. Dragonkin is the family where we have the fewest number of pets, coming in at just over 90, whereas all the other families have over 100. The unique feature of Dragonkins is they will deal 50% additional damage on the next round after bringing a target's health below 50%. This means you can't chain Dragonkin buffs back to back by getting it every time you bring the target below 50% health. This also explains why it might seem like the Dragonkin enemy got an unexplained boost on their attack against you out of nowhere, and they didn't apply a damage debuff to you or a damage buff to themselves. This is also why pet battle strategists sometimes try to time big hit abilities for when you have the buff so they will hit harder, like waiting for the Dragonkin buff before using Twilight Meteorite or Call Lightning. Dragonkins will take strong damage from humanoid abilities, like the Knight vs. Dragon example previously, but weak damage from flying abilities because what did you think fast food really meant for a dragon? As for Dragonkin attacks themselves, they'll deal strong damage against magic pets because in most lore, dragons are somewhat immune to magic, but do weak damage against undead pets. I don't really have an explanation for that one, but maybe you do. Let me know in the comments below. Flying is the family where you'll find bird and bird-like pets that aren't mechanical or undead, insects that fly, and mythical type creatures that fly. The unique feature of flyers is their speed is 50% faster when they are above 50% HP. So if your flying pet has a base 300 speed, above 50% HP it will have 450 speed. This can create a huge advantage at the beginning of the fight. especially if you have abilities that pair well with a speed advantage like blinds, dodges, force swaps, stuns, and so on. If you manage to have a flyer that remains faster even once they lose their flying buff, even better. Flyers will take strong damage from magic abilities while they take weak damage from beast abilities, which is incredibly amusing when you know that the biggest menace to birds IRL is cats, who in WoW are part of the beast family. Flying attacks will deal strong damage against the Aquatic family, which makes sense when you think of birds in the wild eating fish. However, they'll do weak damage against Dragonkins. Undead is the family where you'll find all manner of undead creatures, skeletal, spectral, diseased, constructs, and so on. If it was once living, made of parts of once living creatures, or animated with necromantic type magic, it goes in this family. The unique feature of the undead is when they are killed, they will return to life for 1 round, and while they are immortal, they will not die until that round is over. They will deal 25% less damage. The undead round is a great time to use an ability that isn't impacted by the 25% reduction like Corpse Explosion or Unholy Ascension, or to apply a debuff like Rabid Strike. You can still use it to attack, but don't expect too much from that round, especially if you're using a variable damage ability. Undead pets will take strong damage from critter abilities, which goes well with the process of decomposition, starting with crawly things, especially when something is buried. As stated previously though, they will take weak damage from Dragonkin attacks. Undead attacks will do strong damage against humanoid pets, but weak damage against aquatic pets. My best guess for that one is that water is cleansing and the undead are generally viewed as diseased, so wash your hands to avoid becoming a zombie. The critter family is another catch-all family that covers everything from plain striders to roaches, though you will most commonly see bunnies, snails, rats, mice, beetles, and roaches used. You'll find a few pets that seem like they belong in another family, like the perky pug or Elex. We have to take some of the pets with a grain of salt, especially the earlier ones, but if it's small, mostly, and cute, a loose definition, you'll find it here. Critters have the unique feature of being immune to stuns, roots, and sleep effects. If their general movesets weren't so weak, this would definitely put them in the upper echelon of families. We do have strong critters, but mostly they seem to be the weakest of all the families in terms of attacks. Critter pets will take strong damage from beast abilities, which makes sense when you think of cats. No more needs to be said there, I imagine. On the other hand, critters will take weak damage from elemental abilities, which is a testament to the resilience of the animals our pets are based from. As for critter abilities, they'll do strong damage against undead, but weak damage to humanoids. That said, whoever made this decision has clearly never been bitten by a rabbit or assaulted by a squirrel. The magic family is a family where you'll find a wide array of creatures and items imbued with the arcane. If a mage looked at a mundane item and went Sorcerer's Apprentice on it, you'll find that in this family, along with the remnants of those magical mishaps, plus demons. Anywho, the unique feature of the magic family is they cannot be dealt more than 35% of their maximum health in one attack. This is great for a variety of scenarios because it allows for more reliability when trying to set abilities up. It is, however, still susceptible to enemies who do multi-hit attacks. That said, you should follow those guidelines when facing a magic pet. Save your big hit abilities / pets for a different enemy on the team and use dots and or multi-hit abilities to take this family down. Magic pets will take strong damage from Dragonkin enemies but weak damage from Aquatic. This is another one that isn't super obvious as to why it was chosen, so let me know your guesses in the comments. For magic abilities, they'll do strong damage versus flyers and weak damage to mechanicals. The age-old battle of tech versus magic. The elemental family is where you'll find elementals. If it lives in or is made of an element, you'll find it in this family, along with a few oddballs from Revendreth and the Shaws of Pandaria. The unique feature of this family is probably where some frustration creeps in. Elementals ignore all negative weather effects while still gaining the beneficial effects. As an example, when Call Darkness is up, they are not considered blind and do not have a reduced hit chance like other non-elemental pets. As an example, if you use one of the owls to Call Darkness the Nocturnal Strike against an elemental, your Nocturnal Strike will still only have its 50% hit chance minus the 10% debuff from Call Darkness, putting it at 40% hit chance. You've not only made Nocturnal Strike less effective, but you've also blinded yourself and not done the same to the elemental enemy in return. The same type of thing can happen with abilities like Conflagrate and Deep Burn, where you won't get the bonus damage against an elemental if you're depending on Scorched Earth weather for the target to burn. There are a few abilities like this, but there are other abilities you can use to get around this. They just aren't as easy or simple as using the weather. That said, elemental pets take strong damage from one of their own aquatic abilities, the traitors. On the other hand, they take weak damage from mechanical abilities. The whole man versus nature thing, and nature always wins. This leads us into a really interesting point about elemental pets. They are the only family that does strong damage against the enemies they take weak damage from, mechanicals. This is why elemental pets are the perfect family to go against mechanicals as long as the mechs don't have any aquatic abilities. On the other hand, elemental abilities will do weak damage to critters. The beast family is where you'll find all manner of, well, beasts. This group currently holds the most number of pets in our roster, and I imagine it has a lot to do with our copy-paste spiders, cats, foxes, wolves, and snakes. There are certainly some odd choices to be had in this family, where you can find similar pets in a completely different family, but such as pet battles. The unique feature of this family is pretty straightforward. Once they get below 50% of their total health, they deal 25% more damage. So if it looked like their bite attack went from 300 to 375 out of nowhere, it's because you've damaged them to below half health and their racial has activated. Beast pets will take strong damage from mechanical attacks, which is why we tap on our hoods in the winter before we start our cars. On the other side, they take weak damage from humanoid attacks, which is a very medieval era way of looking at the relationship between humans and beasts. Beast attacks will do strong damage against critters, but weak damage to flyers. The aquatic family is where you'll find all kinds of water-dwelling creatures that aren't elementals or humanoids, except when they are. Why, Puddle Terror and Tide Skipper? Why? You'll find a lot of crabs and amphibians, and now ducks. The unique feature of this family is twofold. Dot effects are reduced by 50%, while dot effects from aquatic pets will deal 25% more damage. When you throw in something like Cleansing Rain, which reduced the rounds of dots by 1, it's almost pointless to use dots against this family. Which is why we use flyers instead, because aquatic pets take strong damage from these abilities. On the other hand, undead abilities will deal weak damage against them. Aquatic attacks do strong damage against elementals, the double crossers, but do weak damage against magic pets. Last but not least, we have the mechanical family. In this family, you'll find all kinds of, you guessed it, mechanical creatures, from robots to cannons. The unique feature of mechanicals is they will come back to life once per battle, returning to 20% health. You can heal in this phase, so they don't have to remain at 20%, however, they will not be able to obtain their pre-resurrected phase. This resurrection can either be super handy or super annoying, depending on which team the mechanical is on. Mechanical abilities do strong damage against beasts, but weak damage to elementals. Mechanical pets will take strong damage from elemental attacks because nothing screws up an engine better than throwing dirt, water, and/or fire into it. However, they'll take weak damage from magic pets because mages drool and engineers rule. And that's it for the pet battle families. I hope this helped clear up any anomalies you might have encountered in a battle and were wondering why. There are some charts and wheels you can use to help remember the strong and weak stuff, but honestly, it's just easier to use rematches filters than to try to memorize them. Once you've been pet battling long enough, you'll be able to remember most of them anyway, though even I have my moments where I'm caught flat-footed because I tried to stun a critter. If you have any questions, feel free to leave those in the comments below. Until next time, I wish you all the best of luck, thank you for stopping by, and happy battling!